Hello, fifth graders. Today I'm going to show you some weaving tips. Hopefully you saw the video on how to make your own weaving loom out of a piece of cardboard and some string. So you cut the notches, measuring with the ruler, cutting your notches on both sides, and then wrapping your yarn all the way around. So the back, you tape both ends. So your loom should now look like this, okay? This is called the warp threads. So I'm going to show you some tricks on how to weave that the video didn't mention. To start, any kind of yarn will do. The thicker the yarn, the quicker your weaving's going to go. So if you have really thin string, the weaving's going to take will take some time, but that's okay. To cut, I like to do a couple kind of arm lengths, 2 or 3 arm lengths. Don't want it too long, or your yarn's going to get knotted. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you how to make a knot to get started. So you're going to take the short end, one end of your yarn, and slide it under the first string here, first warp thread. And then you're going to take the little tail and cross it over the big one, making an X, just like that. Now, to make your knot, you're going to take this little tail and slide it through your opening. And then you're going to pull both ends, the long end and the short, and then you have your knot. And you don't have to knot it twice. Once should be fine. I'm just going to cut that little tail. All right, now you're ready to weave. If you have a weaving needle, that's one of those plastic needles, craft needles, that can help you along, but I know a lot of you don't have weaving needles, so guess what? Your fingers will work just fine. So basically, to start weaving, all you do is you start by going under and over. So every other one. Okay, and then you pull. Now here's another trick. All this extra yarn here, okay, you don't want it to get knotted. So as you see, as I'm pulling, I'm kind of making sure that my yarn does not get knotted. All right, and then you just slide it down. Do not yank too tightly, because if you yank too tightly, your warp threads could start pulling in like this, and then as you go up, you're going to have a lot of difficulty trying to weave, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. Just kind of try and keep your warp threads even. Now here's a mistake that a lot of students make. When you end your first row, a lot of students tend to go right to where they started. You actually want to start your next row right where you left off. So I started with under. See, my yarn is under. Then I'm going to go over, okay? So you're always doing just the opposite. And again, pulling to make sure nothing gets knotted. Now again, you don't want to pull too tight, do not yank, kind of keep it nice and loose. And then you want to always kind of smush your yarn down, pull it down. So basically your warp threads, these threads as you work your weaving up, are not going to be seen. They're all going to be covered with your yarn. Oops, oh, I lost that there. So I'm going to continue weaving this string, and then I'm going to show you how to connect your next piece in case you want to change colors. Okay. Okay, so when you get to this point where you've ended your last piece, you want to connect a new piece. Now here's the thing, do not weave your last piece so you have very little space to connect, because trying to tie your knot to your second piece, you're going to have some trouble. So leave a good amount, like a tail here, so you have enough space to connect your next piece. All right, so I'm going to try another color here. And again, I'm just measuring a couple kind of arm lengths. All right. Okay, and then you want to knot this piece to your last piece to your new piece of yarn. So what I do is I make an X, I pull the one string in, and then again you're making like that loop again where you're crossing over and then putting the piece through the hole and then pulling, okay? And then you have your knot. And then I like to trim my ends, okay? Pull it a little tight, and again, then you can just keep going, and you should go again, do your weaving all the way to the top, or as long as you want it to be. And then the video showed how to take your weaving off the loom, off of this, which you totally can do if you get to that point. If not, we could bring it back to school and I will take it off the loom for you. All right, I'd love to see if you decide to do this project, post some pictures of what you've been working on for this. All right, happy weaving. See you soon.